Hello everyone and welcome to this week's edition of Exploring Dishes with the Butterfly Princess. In today's lesson we're going to be discussing the enchanting world of double chocolate chip cookies, a symphony of senses. So here goes. Introduction. The double chocolate chip cookie, a desiccant union of cocoa-infused dough and molten chocolate morsels, stands as a pinnacle of indulgence in the pantheon of baked goods. Its allure lies not only in its rich flavour, but in its ability to evoke nostalgia, comfort and sensory delight. In today's lesson explores today's lesson explores the cookie's historical roots, cultural significance and multi-sensory appeal, dissecting its ingredients, textures and global variations to illuminate why this treat has captivated palates for generations. Here goes. History, from humble beginnings to chocolate obsession. The story of chocolate chip cookies began in 1938 when Ruth Wakefield, property of Massachusetts, Toll House Inc., famously added chopped Nestle chocolate to her butter cookie dough. The resulting Toll House cookie became an American icon. However, the leap to double chocolate, a dough encircled with cocoa powder alongside chocolate chunks, emerged later as post-war prosperity made cocoa accessible to home bakers. By the 1970s, recipes for chocolate chip cookies began appearing in cookbooks, capitalising on society's growing obsession with intensified sweetness. The addition of cocoa powder transformed the cookie into a darker, denser confection, bridging the gap between brownie and cookie. A real story, the cookie that conquered bakeries. In 1984, a small Seattle bakery named Cocoa Dreams experimented by adding melted dark chocolate to its already cookie heaven dough. The result, a cookie with a crackle crust, fudgy interior and pockets of semi-sweet chocolate, became a local sensation. By 1990, their recipe inspired national chains like Mrs. Fields to adapt double chocolate as a premium offering. Today, this cookie symbolises artisanal baking, often serving as a benchmark for pastry chefs aiming to balance bitterness and sweetness. Ingredients: alchemy, flavour and texture. The cookie's magic stems from its precise alchemy. Cookie powder, Dutch processed cocoa leaves a deep mellow chocolate base with natural cookie acidic creates a tangible profile. Unsettled butter ensures a tender crumb and caramelised edges. Sugar, brown sugar, malting is rich, adds chewiness. White sugar promotes crispness. Eggs. Egg yolks contribute richness, white and structure. Chocolate. A mix of chunks for gooey pockets and crisp chips for structure is ideal. High cocoa chocolate, 70% plus, balances sweetness. Leaving baking soda reacts with acidic cocoa for lift, while salt's highlights flavour complexity. Cultural significance, a global treat with local twists. In the United States, double chocolate cookies epitomise home baking, often paired with milk in childhood memories. In Europe, they reflect cafe culture served alongside espresso. In Parisian pastries, Japan's convenience stores sell macho dusted versions, while Mexican bakeries add cinnamon and chili. Parisian pâtissiers, Japan's convenience stores sell matcha dusted versions, while Mexican bakeries add cinnamon and chili. Vegan and gluten-free literatures using almost almond flavour and flax eggs highlight modern dietary treats. Social media has further globalised the cookie with Instagrammable stuffed versions filled with caramel, peanut butter, or even cheesecake, fueling viral trends. Flavours, a dance of sweetness and depth. The cookie's flavour profile hints on contrast. Bitter versus sweet. Dark chocolate counters sugary dough. Earthy versus bright. Cocoa's earthiness balances vanilla's floral notes. Spice variations. Additions like orange zest, espresso, powder, or sea salt amplify complexity. Texture, the science of contrast. A perfect double chocolate chip cookie marries textures. Crispy edges are achieved by high oven temperatures, caramelizing sugars. Chewy centre, underbaking slightly keeps the interior fudgy. Dewy pockets, melting chocolate chunks create liquid contrast. Overmixing dough leads to toughness, while chilling hydrates the cocoa, intensifying flavours. Variation, intervention in every bite. Nutty crunch. Walnuts or hazelnuts add texture. Salted caramel swirl. A ribbon of caramel enhances sweetness. Peppermint crushed candy canes create a festive treat. International infusions. Matcha, Japan, Argentina, cardamom, India. Sensory experience, a multi-sensory journey. So touch. The cookie's surface slightly cracked with wet and warm yields to a soft press. Taste, initial sweetness gives way to cocoa bitterness rounded by vanilla. Smell, aromatic cocoa and toasted butter waft from the oven, triggering anticipation. Sides, glossy chocolate pills contrast with melt craggy dough. Here, the crisp snap of breaking a cool cookie signals freshness. Served with pairings that elevate. Dairy cold milk cuts richness, whipped cream adds delicance. Coffee espresso's bitterness complements sweetness. Ice cream sandwiched between cookies, it creates a textural symphony. Festivals and celebrations. While no festival exclusively honours double chocolate chip cookies, they start in celebrations such as Christmas as edible gifts or National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day, which is celebrated on the 4th of August. Bake-offs such as New York's Cookie Dough showcase adventurous versions, while food trucks specialise in warm, freshly baked batches at fairs. Conclusion, a timeless icon. The double chocolate chip cookie is more than just a dessert. It is a sensory narrative weaving history, culture, and chemistry into each bite. Its adaptability ensures proper relevance, whether in a child's lunchbox or a Michelin-starred tasting menu. As long as chocolate remains a universal language, this cookie will endure as a testament to humanity's love affair with sweetness, comfort, and creativity. Right, next one. Global adaptation. The double chocolate chip cookie, a culinary odyssey. The double chocolate chip cookie, while rooted in American tradition, has transcended borders to become a canvas for cultural expression. As its journeying across continents, local ingredients, culinary philosophies, and historical influence reshaped its identity, resulting in a dazzling array of interpretations that reflect the values, resources, and palates of diverse societies. This part of the lesson delves into the intricate ways nations have reimagined this beloved treat, celebrating both innovation and tradition. Japan, precision and artistic harmony. In Japan, where waggish traditional sweets prioritise sustainability, suitability and visual elegance, the double chocolate chip cookie undergoes a transformation. Bakers often incorporate matcha powder into the dough, creating a striking green and brown marbled effect that nods to the tea ceremony's relevance for nature. White chocolate chips replace sesame sweet ones to soften bitterness, and while roasted soybean flour adds a nutty undertone. The cookies are similar, reflecting the Japanese principle of one soup, three sides, which values moderation. They are served with roasted green tea in tea houses or packaged as souvenirs in minimalist pastel coloured boxes. Cultural context. Japan's 20th century embrace of, of Western desserts are married with its artistical craftsmanship. The cookie's adaptation mirrors the nation's Wagyu philosophy, adapting foreign concepts while preserving Japanese spirit. Mexican spice and ancestral legacy. Mexico, spice and ancestral legacy. Mexican bakers infused the cookie with ingredients tied to pre-Columbian and colonial history. Cocoa itself holds sacred status, once used as Aztec currency. Modern recipes might include cinnamon and chili powder, often evoking mo sauces. One of the cane sugars shaped into cones for caramelized depth. Orange zest, a nod to Spanish colonial citrus orchards. The dough is sometimes enriched with almond flavour, a technique borrowed from convent sweets like. These spice cookies are paired with coffee during a festival, symbolising the blending of indigenous and Catholic traditions. Cultural context. Mexico's adaptation honours its status as the birthplace of cocoa while embracing the cultural fusion that defines its cuisine. France, France, culture of chocolate. In France, the cookie is elevated to pâtissier status that are choose chocolate, often single origin or age, are a mandatory while butter is churned for high for higher fat content. Bakers might layer caramelised hazelnut paste into the dough or garnish cookies with edible gold leaf. The texture leans towards crispy, avoiding the American preference for chewiness. Served in Parisian saloons with a glass of fortified wine, the cookie becomes a refined merchandise petit four. Cultural context. France's adaptation reflects its culinary hierarchy, where techniques and luxury ingredients reign supreme. The cookie is less a comfort food, more than a showcase for cherry and savoury fare. India, spice roots and balance. India's version harmonises chocolate with some principles which emphasise balancing flavours, sweet, bitter and pungent. Common additions include cardamom and saffron, linking to traditional sweets. Gangy instead of butter for richness, coupled with lactose-sensitive diets. Unfilled palm sugar is a sucrose alternative. Street vendors in Mumbai stuff cookies with peanut brittle or coat them in sheet metal for a tangy twist. In Kerala, coconut oil replaces butter and curry leaves are infused into chocolate for savoury depths. Paired with tea, the cookies bridge colonial era tea culture and modern fusion trends. Cultural context. British colonialisation introduced baking to India, but local adaptations reject excessive sweetness in favour of complexity, mirroring the country's diverse culinary landscape. Italy, renaissance of texture. Italian bakers emphasise textural contrast inspired by the principle of creaminess. The dough might include ground hazelnuts, while chocolate chunks are replaced with hazelnut chocolate paste. In Sicily, orange blossom water and a type of wine are kneaded into the dough, evoking a cascade. The cookies are baked until the edges resemble ugly but good crackly and light. Served with espresso, they embody Udolce Vita. Cultural context. Italy's adaptation mirrors its recognition. Each ingredient tells a story of local agriculture, from the hazelnuts of Sicilian citrus. Nordic countries, minimalism and forged flavours. In Scandinavia, the cookie embraces for just enough, avoiding essence, excessive sweetness. Our Icelandic version used rye flavour for earthiness and stellar cultured dairy for tang. Finnish bakers might add lungeberry jam or sea buckthorn powder, incorporating banal flavours, forest ingredients. Norway often includes brown cheese, a caramelised whey product for contrast. These cookies are paired with mulled wine during Christmas celebrations. Nordic adaptations reflect new Nordic cuisine tastes, purity, sensory, and a conception to landscape. Middle East. Fragrance. In Lebanon and Iran, the cookie is perfumed with rose water or orange blossom, invoking the aromas of baklava or date syrup. Might replace butter, aligning with vegan trends. Turkish bakers add scallop orchid roots, orchid root flour for chewiness, and pomegranate morsels for tartness. Garnishes include dusk or edible rose petals, transforming the cookie into a jewel-like confection served with Arabic coffee spiced with cardamom. It becomes part of hospitality rituals. Cultural context. The adaptation mirror the region's historic Islamic golden ages, combinations confectionery. South African bakers weave native ingredients into the cookie. Rubicon's tea powder infused in dough for richness. A cream liqueur made from tropical sweet for tropical fruitness. Marinated chocolate, simple origins from the Lampoon province. In townships, cookies might include maize flour for affordability, reflecting philosophy of community sharing. They're sold at street markets alongside syrup donuts, symbolising post-apartheid culinary pride. Cultural context. The cookies evaluation here is tied to reclaiming indigenous ingredients and addressing social diversity. Australia and New Zealand bush tucker fusions. Australian adaptations celebrate native bush tucker. Whilst roasted and ground adds a coffee-like bitterness. Milk and nuts and lemon mark for crunch and citrus brightness. Big swirls a daring savoury contrast. In New Zealand, honey and a type of leaf powder, medicine herb are incorporated. These cookies are popular at AZAC Day events, reimagining the wartime biscuit with modern flair. Cultural context. The adaptations reflect Australians' bicultural identity and efforts to decolonise food systems by First Nations ingredients. Brazil, tropical carnival of flavours. Brazilian bakers turn the cookie into a carnival of textures. Coconut oil and flour create a gluten-free tropical base. Rainforest fruits are passion fruit, pulp swirls, and acidity. Soaked raisins for the filling. Sold at bakeries alongside these cookies are dunked in soda or some kind of smoothies. Cultural context. Brazil's version embodies mix of a cultural ethos born from African, indigenous and Portuguese fusion. Global fusion and the future. Imagination and digital have surrounded hybrid creation. Korean cookies wrapped in churro leaves. Palestinian stuffed cookies with date chocolate filling. Vegan versions cookies in Berlin's other grand bakeries. Social media, these fusions, Instagram's #global cookie challenges showcase cookies from and versions from San Francisco. Conclusion: a universal language with a local accent. The Double Chocolate Cookies global journey reveals humanity's shared craving for sweetness and our desire to imprint identity upon it, whether through Japan's matcha, Mexico's chili, or India's cardamom. Each adaptation tells a story of resilience, creativity, and cultural dialogue. As burgers blur and pastries globalize, the cookie remains a testament to the beauty of cultural a simple dough that binds the world one chocolate chip at a time. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes this week's lesson and episode of Exploring Dishes with the Butterfly Princess. I very much hope you've enjoyed this exploration of the double chocolate chip cookie. And next week, remember, we're now, today's date is the 1st of October. So remember that we now take a break for a week from exploring dishes, because on the second Wednesday of each month we take a break from this series and do the monthly series of women who have shaped worldwide beliefs. So that will be next Wednesday's lesson, where we look at a female figure who has shaped worldly belief, and this exploring dishes with the Butterfly Princess will be returning on the 15th of October. So I hope you can join me for then. Until I hope you can join me for next week's lesson also on a female figure that shaped worldwide belief. But until then, I hope you have a lovely rest of your week. Have a lovely rest of your day with whatever you're doing. And I hope to see you again very soon. But until then, I'm going to say bye-bye for now and take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.